Chaos and lawlessness at the southern border as critics say the White House is MIA.
Congresswoman Mariannette Miller-Meeks just visited the border. She joins us now with her message to President Biden and Vice President Harris. First off, thanks for being with us this morning.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And then we're going to pull this Fox News poll up. It just shows what people think right now are the most pressing issues facing the country, the economy and the coronavirus being 1 and 2, and then immigration and the border. That comes in 3. So Americans are making it very clear they have a message, too, for the president and vice president. But what's your message after just being at the border?
Well, I think certainly what we know is that we don't have border security. So we have an influx of immigrants coming into our country illegally. That's pulling our Border Patrol agents off of securing the border in order to process them. And so far, the Biden administration's answer to the chaos at the border and disorder at the border is only to move people, unaccompanied minors and families through the border as rapidly as possible. They're not being COVID-19 tested. We've spoken with Secretary Mayorkas about this. We've sent letters. I even put forward a bill requesting that every person coming through the border is COVID-19 tested, but they're transited through, put on planes, put on buses, and going to someplace within the interior. And, you know, they're not even contacting the sponsors for individuals, unaccompanied minors that are coming across the border. So there's chaos there. There are drugs. There are human smuggling, as we know. The cartels are making tremendous amounts of money and bringing people across the border. And then there's also individuals on the terror watch list who are coming across the border. So it's imperative that we secure our border and then also work on our broken immigration system.
My apologies for this question, Congresswoman, because I know your race was the last one to wrap up in this current Congress. But if Biden and the Democrats keep this up, do they have any chance of keeping Congress in the midterms?
I think that, you know, historically in the midterms, the minority party does gain seats. Typically, that's an average of 27 seats. We can't rest on history. We have to, you know, go forward, make our case to the public. And already, as I'm touring my district, I'm hearing that there is Biden remorse. So there are individuals who voted for President Biden and now they're regretting their vote for President Biden as they see the chaos. So we have chaos on the southern border. We have, you know, a jobs report that was terrible, much less than predicted. So we have an economic problem going forward. And then we have a problem in the Middle East. So we've got all these crises going on at the same time. And I think that people are having some regrets over who they voted for this cycle. But we're going to have to work hard to show the American people that we have a plan, we have policies, and we're really, you know, driven to be able to put America first and get people back to work, get people vaccinated and get us out of this pandemic, secure the border, you know, fully reopen our schools. I've, you know, talked about even reopening summer camps and allowing children to go to summer camp without masks. So we've got a lot to do going forward. But I think that we can do that, and we're putting forward policies that put America first.
Meantime, Congresswoman, no additional money for DHS, the topic we were just discussing, but President Biden is expected to buck the Hyde Amendment in his $6 trillion budget and use it to strengthen pro-choice priorities. For those of you who don't know, Hyde Amendment, of course, prohibits the use of federal funds to pay for most abortions. Here's Joe Biden flip-flopping.
For many years as U.S. Senator, I've supported the Hyde Amendment, but circumstances have changed. I've been working through the final details of my health care plan, and I've been struggling with the problems that Hyde now presents.
Have about a minute remaining, Congresswoman. How worried should pro-lifers be about this move by Biden?
I think they need to be considerably worried. And as I mentioned before, people are having some remorse over who they voted for president. And this is another reason that they are. They felt that President Biden, his long history of support for the Hyde Amendment, his history as a senator, his you know, comments on the campaign trail, that he would continue to support the Hyde Amendment, which prohibits you know, federal funding for abortions. We have introduced you know, tried to introduce legislation to reinsert the Hyde Amendment, support for the Hyde Amendment in every legislation and every appropriations bill. And that has been also bucked by the majority party. So I think they should be concerned. And we're hoping that, you know, that he realizes his longstanding support for the Hyde Amendment should go forward. And we should not be federally funding abortion.
And then really quickly, as far as the point that it was once bipartisan, as far as this compromise, where did this bipartisanship go?
It used to be bipartisan, but even things like Representative Ann Wagner's born-again survivor, abortion survivor bill, that has had bipartisan support in the past. We put it forward. We even did a discharge position, and all of the Republicans have signed on to the discharge petition, but no Democrats have.
Interesting. Okay. Congresswoman Mariannette Miller-Meeks, thanks for being with us this morning.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you, and have a pleasant weekend.
Likewise. All right. Speaking of the